Well, welcome to the September 2014 World of Equine News Report on Speaking of Horses. I'm your host, Wayne Williams. Glad to have you join us. Now, first, we bring you stories that relate to the horse's health. First, horses can suffer muscular skeletal pain and injuries anywhere along the axial skeleton that comprises the skull, vertebrae, column, sternum, and ribs. Bringing these horses back to form post-injury can be difficult and time-consuming, but possible thanks to both the time-tested mobilization exercises and the cutting-edge physical therapies techniques. During the American Association of Equine Practitioners Focus on the Sport Horse program held July 20th to the 22nd this year in Louisville, Kentucky, Philippe Benoit, a veterinarian of Clinique Equine de Brouveries in France and former veterinarian for the French show jumping team, described methods for rehabilitating horses recovering from any number of back problems. Also, from stable management, the idea of one perfect training surface for all horses does not hold water. Over the past 10 years, the University of Guelph researcher Jeff Thomason, PhD, has been covering a great deal of ground studying on a multitude of different riding surfaces. Patterns and contrasts are becoming apparent, providing a bigger picture to answer the question of what can be done to optimize surfaces in order to reduce sports injuries. As Equine Guelph's functional anatomy instructor, Thomason has no trouble explaining the many contributing factors that can cause injury to a horse, such as conformation, and his surface studies take a detailed look at the interaction of the hoof with the ground and the shock and forces acting on the horse's leg. Hey, we'll be right back. We're going to talk to a female jockey, Janice Blake. Stay with us. We at Speaking of Horses would like to thank some of the people who helped to make Speaking of Horses TV possible. A big thank you to Equine Clot. Equine Clot is a wonderful product. Carry it in your saddlebag, put it in your first aid kit, wrap it on an equine wound. It immediately promotes clotting and is a great first aid tool. Thank you to Equine Clot. And to EquestriSafe, a complete line of equestrian riding products for trail, for arena, for wherever, from reflective vests, reflective headgear, tapes, signage, everything you need to ride safely and to be safe with your horse is available at EquestriSafe.com. Check them out. Thanks to all of the fine people that make Speaking of Horses TV possible. You know, recently we visited Belmont Park Historic Racecourse in New York. Here's a presentation by jockey Janice Blake on the equipment used by jockeys. Watch this. Hey, we're back. Speaking of horses, and right now we have Janice Blake here again. And Janice is going to go through equipment, as we said. However, we want to remind you that Janice does go out and do presentations. She does them for groups. Just give her a call, get a hold of her on her website, her Facebook page, and check in. She's available to do this presentation for any of the groups that would love to have her come. Right now, let's listen to Janice.
Hello everybody. I'm going to show you my jockey equipment. These are my jockey boots. These boots weigh 1.5 pounds together. Jockeys are always trying to wear light equipment so they can eat more and they can be stronger in their bodies because they're trying to make weight. These are a pair of jockey pants. They have elastic on the bottoms, and these are jockey leggings. The leggings go on the bottom of the jockey pants like this, and they go in the boot, and they protect the top part of your inside of your calf and your legs. This is a jockey shirt. It's also very light. This says Janice Blake, United States on it because I went to ride in a female jockey tournament in Brazil, and I was the only one there from the United States. That was very exciting. This is a jockey vest. This weighs 1.5 pounds. This is a required piece of equipment. You have to wear this in order to ride if you're going to ride. And some vests weigh 2 pounds, some weigh 1.5 pounds. That's 1.5 pounds. This is my little saddle. This saddle weighs, again, 1.5 pounds. with all the equipment on it, with these leathers and the stirrups. The stirrups are made of carbide material, like airplane metal. It's just very light and very strong as you can get. This is my big saddle. This weighs 4 pounds. And the thing about this saddle is if I have to carry any weight, it has pockets on the inside. And that's where you put the lead if I have to carry weight. Like if, let's say the horse is carrying 126 pounds and with all my equipment, I weigh 120, the valet will put in 6 more pounds of lead inside these pockets on this saddle. These are my 2 sticks. This is the old one, this is the new one. You have to ride with this stick. You can't ride with these anymore because these are more humane and they have more of a cushion here, so when it hits the horse, it doesn't hurt as much as this one. It doesn't cut into it. See, this one used to have little feathers on it on the end, and it really left a mark and really hurt. So the change of this one, this was now regulation. Now I'm going to show you how jockeys change goggles. So when you're riding a race and you're behind horses, the horses, they throw dirt back because their hooves are concave, and as they're running, they're throwing dirt behind them. So when you're behind horses, you have to have goggles on. So I have 4 goggles right now. So what happens is, say I'm behind a wall of horses and there's dirt just flying back at me. So I'm down riding like this, and if I want to change goggles, I just reach up and take one down. Now I'm still riding, I'm still getting a lot of dirt, so I just reach up, take one down. Reach up, take one down. So then you say, well, what happens if it's a long race? What happens if you're in the stretch and you run out of goggles? Well, you don't want to just not have any goggles. You don't take your last goggle and put it down like this. You're riding like this, you just reach up and you just do like a windshield wiper and you just wipe them to the side like that. So that's how a jockey gets through a race. You can use as many goggles as you want, depending on how muddy it is, or if you think you're going to be in front. You can have up to 6 or 7 goggles with whatever you can handle. Okay, this is a pair of silks that I'm wearing. These silks are the property of the person who owns the horse. And what happens is, in order to tell one horse from another in the races, they have different color silks. Now the owner of the horse gets to design their silks. So this owner is, initials are JL, and it's the same on the back. He has a couple of chevrons on the sleeves, and that's how they tell the difference between one horse and the next, and every owner has a different set of silks, and one owner can't have the same silks as another owner. I don't ride the same number of horse every race. The numbers are drawn every race, and I ride with a different number in every single race, and it goes right here, and I pin it on. It could be the 5, it could be the 1, the 12, 11, whatever post position my horse happens to draw, that's what I use.
You know, the High Roller Reining Classic is coming soon. It's currently ranked number 4 in reining events after just 5 years in existence. The Reining Classic runs 8 days with a $78,000 futurity as well. Watch for more on this event coming up here on Speaking of Horses. It'll be held September 13th to the 20th in Las Vegas. Top reining horses compete. We'll bring you more. ELCR is the Equine Land Conservation Resource, and they would tirelessly work to help keep trails open and keep trail areas available and keep them maintained and keep them open at all times. On June the 18th, 2014, the National Forest System Trails Stewardship Act, that's House Bill 4886, was introduced in the U.S. House of Representatives. Now, the bill would go a long way toward addressing the trail maintenance issues and backlog among U.S. forest personnel. It would revamp the personnel and volunteer programs and also allow outfitters and guides to pay the usage fees in trade for trail maintenance while they're out there on the trails. And we'll have more to report on this at a later time. We'll be right back with a Tough Enough to Wear Pink story and North Carolina celebrates the Year of the Horse. Stay with us. We want to take a moment to thank many of the fine people that have made Speaking of Horses possible. Source Nutrition, micronutrients for your horse or dog, developed and harvested from the ocean on the Maine coast. Years of research and development for the best supplements available. Source Nutrition. Equessentials, horse conditioning and prep products developed by Dr. Tom Tweeton. Totally safe, improve your horse's coat and health. That's Equessentials. Echo Green Grid, stop mud and uneven wet ground. Echo Green Grid installs easily to give a great base for footing. Use it in the paddock around the water tank or use it in the barn. That's Echo Green Grid. And a thank you to Fly Predators. Fly Predators from Spalding Labs control flies and fly larvae the easy way. Use Fly Predators and flies will be gone. Thank you to these people who support Speaking of Horses. You know, the Tough Enough to Wear Pink Horse Show is now in its 7th year. Held in Wilmington, Ohio at the Roberts Arena, September 19th to the 21st of this year. The proceeds from this open horse show go to the Spielman Fund for Cancer. They take care of many patient needs, and in 2013 they raised over $65,000 for cancer. In the 7 years, they have raised over $200,000 for charity. And we have an interview that was done at the Buckskin World Show telling us about this Tough Enough to Wear Pink, the show and its promotions. Let's watch. Hey, we're here at the IBHA World Buckskin Show 2014, Cloverdale, Indiana. But I met Chip here. Now, Chip is with a complete program here. It is a horse show that's tough enough to wear pink. It's a open show. They've got a tremendous show bill, and you've got the pink trailer. You've got the lawnmower, the zero turning radius at Jessica Simpson Road. So tell us just a little bit about how this all works.
Well, we started out, this will be our 8th show, and we decided we wanted to put on a breast cancer charity horse show, or the original group, which was Southern Ohio Quarter Horse. And they did it through the Jessica Simpson, no, through the Stephanie Spielman Fund at the James Cancer Hospital at OSU. And it has just grown from a one-day horse show at a county fairgrounds in Circleville, Ohio, to now we're up to 3 days at the Roberts Arena in Wilmington, Ohio.
Well, I've been at Roberts Arena. Matter of fact, I've worked there as an announcer. That's a great facility. And to raise the kind of money you raise, you're putting on one heck of a show there.
Well, it's all possible. We have great sponsors, Eclipse. We have B&B Industries. We have Osborne Tack. Last year, my count on financial sponsors was 150 financial sponsors. That's how you make money with a horse show.
Now, this is the 7th year, or you've done 7?
We've done 7. This will be our 8th show.
Now, you've done 7, and over the 7 years, the total money you've raised for cancer is well over $222,000, right?
Yes, we a little over $222,500.
Now, right here at the IBHA World Show, you've been promoting what you're doing. The other night we had the Frisbee toss, which was a lot of fun. And the closest Frisbee, what is it, $5 a Frisbee?
$5 a Frisbee. And the closest to the Durango banner wins a certificate for a free pair of Durango boots of their choice. And we had Frisbees everywhere the other night.
Yeah, we did. I was right there with you. We had them everywhere. And you've got things like the Tough Enough to Wear Pink hats for the bling. You've got chances for the horse trailer, chances for the lawnmower.
We've also got a beautiful training saddle donated by Osborne Tack. Anything we can do to help raise money for our funds go to the Patient Assistance Fund.
Well, it's all for a great cause, and it's been fun having you guys here all week.
It's been fun to be here. It's been a real nice horse show, and we've had a good time.
I'd like to do a little more along the way, maybe with Speaking of Horses in my TV show at some point about what you're doing too at Wilmington. Now, the dates of that show are September 19, 2021?
Exactly. Come on down. The nicest compliment that we get from our horse show is that we've had a good time and we'll be back. And people are there for the cause. We're trying to help the cause in any way we can.
Well, that's fantastic. Chip, thanks for talking to us.
Thank you very much. Enjoyed it.
And we're at the World Show for the IBHA Buckskin Horse Association here on Speaking of Horses. Stay with us. There's a lot more coming. You know, horse blankets for turnout are always a problem. They get wet, they're very hard to dry, and until now, using simple radiator technology, the Centaur Company has developed the heated horse blanket dryer. Now watch this and see how it works, how well it is, how well it works, and how it is cost effective.
I'm John Clark with Centaur Heated Horse Blanket Dryers. You can find our information on www.horseblanketdryers.us. Our product is a really unique product. It is a heated system. It will actually dry your blankets, your soaking wet blankets, in less than 4 hours. Two things that does. Now you have a blanket that is dry every day for your horse. You don't have to have 2 or 3 blankets. It costs very little. You can actually, with our unit here, we have four rails. You can put 4 blankets on, dry them in under 4 hours for a cost of less than 70 cents. It's on wheels. You can move it around in your barn or whatever. If you want to, it can be stood up so you have safe space. It also will be able to, when you stand it up, you can dry saddle pads on there as well as blankets. So you get the benefit of drying your saddle pads all the time. When it's not in use, you can use it to stack your blankets so that you have a safe space also in your tack room and so forth. The other thing that it will do is, because it is on an electrical system, 110 unit, you can actually put it on a timer. So you can have it come on an hour or so before you go into your barn. Warm your blankets up. If you happen to have a couple of older horses that have problems with their body, you can put a warm blanket on them, and that's going to make them feel better and be more active, actually. In addition to that, our product, with it being on a timer, you can dry 4 blankets every 4 hours. So in a 12-hour day, and I'm sure most of you work more than 12 hours, you'd be able to get 12 blankets dried easily. And we also have 2 other models. We have a 2-rail unit and a 6-rail unit. So they're easy, convenient, and they work. As you can see, it takes just a regular 110 plug, similar to a hair dryer, same wattage, 1500 watts. That's why it's very cost efficient for drying our blankets. There's a couple other things that we wanted to mention. You can unplug this, as you see now, put your wet blanket or your blanket on it, dirty blanket, take your spray washer, spray it off, plug it back in, and dry your blanket. So now you don't have to go to the laundromat, or you don't have to send them out to be cleaned. Saves you cost in laundering. The other thing that our product will do is it dries from the inside out. It uses kind of like radiant heat, so you don't ruin the waterproofing. You also extend the life of your blankets, and you're going to get somewhere between 6 to 8 times the lifespan of a blanket now by using our blanket. Our product is an extremely simple product. It has a heating element in it similar to a water heater, so it heats the water up to a perfect temperature to dry our blankets in that less than 4-hour time frame. There's no maintenance. The system is fully enclosed. All you do is plug it in and it's ready to go. There are no moving parts. Another feature of our product, it can be wall mounted, and then when you wall mount it, you can actually put saddle pads on here to dry. So you could actually dry 12 saddle pads with this 4-rail unit. As you can see, our heated horse blanket dryer can be stood up and wall mounted. It's shipped with wall mounting brackets, so if you're limited on space or you want to put it on the wall, you can do that. But it also has wheels, so you can move it. As you can see, the Centaur heated horse blanket dryer is very versatile. You can do saddle pads, you can do your blankets, obviously, towels, anything that's in your tack room that's wet can be dried. Another benefit of our product is during these cold, wintry months that are wet and snowy, when your heated horse blanket dryer is on in your tack room, it also will help to keep the chill off of the tack room and keep your fine products free from mold and mildew and so forth. Another important feature about this product is that you can not only dry your wet blankets, but you can wash your dirty blankets on them. But an important feature is that you have to unplug it and wrap it with a plastic bag to protect the electrical outlets and electrical parts. Because the coldest thing in your barn could be your feet, we now make a heated boot dryer. Hi, we're here with Cindy Buchanan, owner of Mercer Hill Farms, with her heated horse blanket dryer. She's one of our valued customers. This is the multifunctional Centaur heated horse blanket dryer. Can you afford to not have one?
You know, Speaking of Horses TV is on the road again. Join us in October as we join the North Carolina State Fair and North Carolina Horse Council as they present the Year of the Horse, October 20th to the 25th, 2014, during the North Carolina State Fair in Raleigh. Join us in the Hunt Complex for non-stop action. The Parade of Breeds featuring Arabians, saddlebreds, quarter horses, Pastofinos, Palominos, paints, standardbreds, draft, mules, and minis. See them all. Don't miss out on our headliner from Australia, Mr. Guy McLean. Guy travels all over the world with his Australian stock horses and his amazing display of horsemanship. Don't miss this world-renowned horseman. And see many talented and professional horsemen and women from North Carolina as they perform. We have such things as trail obstacle course with Jim Thomas, an equestrian drill competition, 5-minute horseback lessons, polo cross games, and an Arabian costume class. Dressage with Leslie Goldman Barrow. Vaulting teams are there, the Black Horse Run and Silver Mane. Trick riding with the Carolina Stars and Bill Menchu. And we also feature Jerry King. And you can see cow cutting and working dog demonstrations, mule packing, and even harness racing. Mary Miller Jordan brings the magic of the Mustang. Mary is a winner of major Mustang competitions and featured on TV's National Geographic. All for the Year of the Horse with the North Carolina Horse Council and the North Carolina State Fair, October 20 to 25. Be there. Now, Speaking of Horses TV is proud to support the North Carolina Horse Council and the North Carolina State Fair in this Year of the Horse celebration. We'll be right back. You know, we want to take a moment to thank many of the fine people who have made Speaking of Horses TV possible. King Barnes, custom designed and built to your specs. crafted by experienced craftsmen just for you. Visit King Barns for your class barn. Revitavet, light therapy products to assist in faster healing of your horse. Use the light pads to warm up muscles before riding. It's innovative, reliable, and you get top results. Revitavet. And a thank you to Just Dump It, easy and safe handles for your wheelbarrow. Save your back with this dump system, easy to install and use. Check out Just Dump It. And Hoosier Horse Trailers, crafted and built in northern Indiana. Unique designs and factory-crafted living interiors. Amish craftsmen at their best. That's Hoosier Horse Trailers. Thank you for your support of Speaking of Horses. You know, the night of the horse show will be in Waterloo, Iowa, September 20th, 2014. The show is a complete theater of horses, choreographed to music as a Broadway show. It's to benefit Aspire Therapeutic Riding in Iowa. Don't miss great acts, and Speaking of Horses TV will be there, filming and all. September 20th, Waterloo, Iowa, the night of the horse. And coming October 3rd to the 5th, 2014 in Oklahoma City, the Horse Woman's Challenge, honoring women's contribution to training horses. The Horse Woman's Challenge will spotlight the incredible talents and diversity of women training horses. The challenge selects up to 50 competitors, and the showcase for their abilities will be done in such areas as cowboy dressage, liberty, and ranch and trail versatility. Speaking of Horses TV will be there covering all the action for you. Join us.
Well, she talks about him, dreams about him, thinks about him all the time. She's got to have him, be lost without him. You can see it in her eyes. What is it? What is it with girls and horses? She says, now when I was a young girl, they were my whole world. They were my one safe place. And now that I'm older, I still lean on their shoulders. I still feel like that girl some days. What is it? What is it with girls and horses? Sometimes I wanna give up, throw up my hands and say enough's enough. But that's when I go and saddle up and run away till I'm okay, until I'm not afraid of staying in the game. Maybe that's what it is with girls and horses. Well, I talk about 'em and I dream about 'em. I live to love 'em and I love to ride. I'll always have 'em, be lost without 'em. There's magic in those gentle lines. What